What's up, guys? I want to show you guys something really cool that happened to me 4 days ago. I completely changed the way that I play Titanfall. I took some of the feedback from my last videos, the alternator, the mobility, and I really just expanded on that. I worked really hard at my mobility, and now this is not the same shooter that I was playing 4 days ago. The game has changed just dramatically to me because of the mobility system. I started taking advantage of the bunny hops, the airstrafes, which are really the backbone of mobility, and I put everything together with the shooting, and now I am just everywhere. And that's what I want to share with you, because now the way that I cover Titanfall is going to be drastically different. My eyes have been opened. I am definitely converted with the alternator. I am definitely now more in the more aggressive style of Titanfall, because not only is this so much fun, it is really rewarding, and when you really want to get competitive with this game, you're actually going to be needing this mobility for capture the flag and hardpoint, and there are the breaks. I actually thought that was really slick, and this is the way that I feel all the time when I'm playing Titanfall now, because my increased mobility just makes this game so much more fun. It is more of a sandbox shooter. I feel like I can accomplish anything. My awareness is up, the possibilities are up. I'm gonna hear this guy below me, we're gonna blast him away, and I'm gonna continue to just enjoy the freedom that really is Titanfall. And I used to be an AWOL Hemlock user, and the thing is, I am just as successful with that as I've been with this, but I have to say that it is not the same at all. I don't think it's as competitive, because unless you're going to be a designated flag defender or control point guy, AWOLs are nice, but like the feeling of jumping through there, like you cannot, that just gives me tingles. As a player, it just really puts a smile on my face. I feel very responsive to this game. I find it very immersive when I'm able to play like this. Even though I don't get this kill, I still feel really good about just the mobility that I played there. And I know there's a lot of videos on the internet talking about this, but it's not so clear cut. As you notice as I go through this, it's not as easy as just jumping, bunny hopping, which is jumping and then changing your gun sideways, which is when you duck, and then jumping again. That's how people explain it. And then there's a skiing, which is the airstrafe that you do with your right joystick at the same time. Now, everyone thinks they're bunny hopping, but in reality, they're doing one slide and then they usually go into a run. This is the bunny hopping that people need to be doing. And even then, that wasn't as smooth as it could have been. I actually stopped sliding. And that's where people start to struggle, when they start combining all the actions of shooting as well as activating abilities. And that's what people don't talk about too much in videos, which is what I really want to clear up, because the terrain and your actions really make a difference on how you actually have to hit your slide and jump button. When things are elevated, or if they're sloped lower, you're going to get more speed as you slide and things like that. If you're going upslope, you're also going to have to really spam the jump trigger. There's a lot of things you need to know when you're actually going to be going this fast. There's a lot of techniques you have to be on top of, which is why when I first started, I actually avoided walls for a while, because I really wanted to work on my bunny hop and my airstrafe so I can maneuver myself and get places that I needed to be without having to depend on the wall. And I really like this clip because I was getting places before other people, so I was able to set up first and then take advantage of that. Now, after you do the bunny hops and the airstrafing, which is the right analog stick that allows you to direct your character as you're bunny hopping, you have to start chaining that with the wall so you can get really tricky. And that's where the game really starts, when bunny hopping. Now, the cool thing about bunny hopping is that really no one's out of reach, especially right now, because again, this ability is not being utilized to its full potential by the large player base. And when I mess up, you're going to notice I'm going to use my stim to end up catching up to him, and that's really more of a cheat. As I got better with this ability, I got out of stim and I started using phase shift a lot more, because I didn't need to depend on that to build my momentum. I was able to do that with slides. Now, this is the other thing about the airstrafe that makes it so important. It lets you jump on the same face twice. It also lets you do these 90-degree turns, which are so important in Titanfall if you want to maintain speed as well as height. Now let me show you guys a nice 90-degree turn so we can keep our speed. And these are not particularly easy to do. I don't always land these, but I've definitely put special focus on them now in my gameplay, because I know that that's the next step to being better at this game. Also, headset, I can't stress enough, if you're going to be going close quarters, you need a good headset so then you know where people are. I know this guy's on top of me, so I'm going to go after him. And now this is something I would not have done 4 days ago. I would not have been able to give chase like this. Now there's also something that I want to show you guys, this window trick. You can either do an airstrafe to get back on the wall and then build speed from there, or you can just hop back in. I want to show you guys a couple of examples of that just because I think it's a really slick move, and there's so many windows in Titanfall that you're always going to be able to use this trick. Now let me show you some gameplay with the shotgun, because that's actually where I mastered most of these tricks, because if you don't have good mobility, you're not going to be getting anywhere with a shotgun. And now I found that even just being 1 millimeter higher, being able to get your mobility a little bit quicker, like this hop, you saw that there was no animation to pull me up onto that ledge because the jump was timed out well. The other way that you do that is with a sideways jump like you see there, and then you don't get that animation. Here's a really smooth window trick. Bam, bam, and thank you, ma'am. That's the whole combo, and that's what you want to get used to. Take advantage of all the windows. There's so many, guys. Really, take advantage of all the mobility that Titanfall offers. And now this is something that I also thought that would throw people off, because I know it threw me off when I was learning this. When you start doing things like this, look at the phase shift, how you have to use your hand, and then you're also trying to grab a ledge. If you time that out wrong, if you try to do both at the same time, you're not going to be able to grab the ledge. It also blocks the animation of your gun being tilted, so sometimes you'll actually click your duck button again, and then you'll end up messing up your bunny hops. So when I'm not concerned about the actual ability, because usually I would be staring at the ground when I was first learning, and now that I can just focus on the actual terrain and looking for my next target, it makes a big difference. You first have to find that comfort level. I see this guy down here. I already have my plan for getting to the jump ship. I'm going to go through the windows. I'm going to make this look clean. I'm going to also use my phase shift so I'm invulnerable, and time it out so I just materialize in it. And that's what mobility is. It's putting all the factors together. Trust me, you're not actually as good with your mobility as you think you are. I know that because I am playing on Xbox and I hardly see anybody actually taking advantage of this. And I used to be that person too, so don't feel bad about it. The thing is, you have to be open to change, be open to actually learning something new, and you actually have to put in some practice. This is not an easy game, and that's actually what makes it so good. The skill ceiling is very high. It gives you something to improve on. The weapons in this game are pretty well balanced. The alternator is absolutely disgusting. If we were to talk about the balance of this gun versus the AWOL Hemlock build, it's actually pretty leveled. I would actually say that that's its nemesis build. Those are the ones that are going to be clashing heads. That is the defender versus the aggressor, the long range versus the close quarter combat guy. They both have their merits, and I've succeeded with both builds now, but this is definitely my favorite way to play. And again, if you're going to be competitive, you need the mobility, CTF, domination, you need to be able to move. And I like this clip. This was really fun for me. I got able to get this guy. I'm going to hear this guy just a little bit. I also see a death, so I'm going to go ahead and whip a grenade there. Everything plays out according to plan. Frag grenades are still something I really enjoy in this game. Regardless of how you're going to be playing this, regardless of what you're going to be using, you need to get your mobility up. And the grappling hook, is it a crutch? It is, in the sense that once you're able to do this, you're going to see that you're not going to need the grappling hook as much. The grappling hook still has its place for sure. I actually think it's really fun to use. It also makes it a lot easier to mobilize yourself in some maps. Regardless of how good your bunny hopping is, if you're really good at bunny hopping and then you add a grappling hook, your mobility is just going to be that much better. There's no doubt about that. But abilities like phase shift, you're going to see me use it here. It is definitely something that you can abuse. I'm going to juke this guy left, and now I'm going to go right. The phase shift ability with the tacti-kill attachment on the gun is just available so often that you can just absolutely dominate with it. It is one of those abilities that resets all engagements. The alternator, again, thanks guys, you guys were right. This thing is absolutely filthy. It is my new favorite gun. I am dominating with it. It is so much fun to just whip out at people. When I kill somebody at length and they have a devotion or a hemlock, let me tell you, I feel pretty fucking good, man. It is just such a good feeling in this game. When I am moving fast, everything just comes together, and I just feel so confident being aggressive now that I have this speed. I feel that it's super tricky, and I'm always trying to improve on it. I think this is one of my earlier clips. I'm still trying to really take advantage of the jumps. I'm trying to do the airstrafe as well, and I'm going to find my first victim. Now, something about this clip that I thought was important was that it does show the 90-degree turn, which I think is super important in any of these games. You need to be able to do it. Someone's going to end up shooting me, so I'm going to get interrupted, but we're going to go back to it in a second. We're going to take care of this guy with the alternator. I'm going to do a lot of just feathering the trigger because it's just so accurate when you do that. And when somebody's close quarters, the aim assist on it is just absolutely ridiculous. So here's a 90-degree turn. We're going to turn around again, and then we're going to go into an air strafe with a bunny hop. And that's how we end up getting the mobility that is going to allow us to kill this guy. The second piece of this puzzle is the phase shift, and this is the first video that I made in regards to tactical abilities because in my mind, this is still the absolute best ability in this game. Stim is good, but maybe there's a reason that phase shift was not allowed in the tournament of CTF because you can do this and just straight fuck off into another dimension. From there, your bunny hops are kind of overpowered because at the end of this run, if you really want to get disgustingly hardcore, you can go phase shift and nothing can possibly stop you because you materialize on your flag. So there's definitely some things that can be said about the competitive nature of this game, but I know that it doesn't matter what world, what dimension you're in, if you can't mobilize yourself, you're never going to have a place in competitive CTF. You're never going to have a place in any competitive game mode. And if you just want to be fucking awesome at this game, you need to get your mobility up. You need to learn the maps. You need to know how you're going to mobilize yourself. We are having a phase shift battle right now. I've actually had a lot more of these kills since I started this mobility training, and I'm going to straight up know where this guy's headed, so. And that's pretty much the end of the video. I'm going to leave it off on this clip. We are going to hunt down this camper at the end of this road. And this has all been possible because of the training that I did earlier. I think it's really worth investing a couple of days, investing a little drop on your KD, because there's no doubt in my mind that it's actually going to drop because you have to get used to these mechanics. You notice as I activated my phase shift, you have to remember that you're already ducking. Yes, I'm celebrating here because he actually just killed me just before this. I'm going to lay this here. I don't really use a turret, but I'm leaving there just out of spite for that dude because he's been camping it up for the last couple of games. So for future videos, we're definitely going to be stepping up our game. I'm going to redo the alternator review because it definitely needs more points. This thing is an absolute beast. I know I've already said it, but it is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to save that for that next video. We're also going to be doing the shotgun because now that my mobility is higher and I can actually show you guys how to mobilize yourselves correctly, you're going to be able to have success with these guns that before I definitely would not have seen it. It just was not happening on the console side. I don't see any examples of this when I'm playing against people. And that's the thing that makes me know how strong this is, because the fact that you don't see other people doing it means that you're just having this advantage practically over, I would say, at least 90% of the population. And I think I'm being generous because the mobility is just not there, at least not on the Xbox. So if you're able to master this, you are going to be at the top percentile for Titanfall. So I'm really looking forward to future videos because we're going to be doing the shotgun. We are definitely going to be redoing the alternator. I already mentioned that. We are also going to just be looking at other advantages that you can get in Titanfall when you really play this game to its full potential. So thanks for joining me again. I'm Paper. Cut to you. Thanks for all the feedback, guys, because I wouldn't have been able to get to this next stage without you guys. Again, thanks a lot. Thanks for supporting Game and Review, and I'll see you guys next time.